Henry has served and is now back in Hong Kong for many years in the US military. He returns to his old school in an effort to begin his teaching career. Tak Chi is a second. The principal admits that he lacks teaching expertise, but he receives the position after being shown a letter of recommendation from a higher official. The principal tells Henry before he departs that the class he is supposed to teach is the worst one in their institution. Henry enters the classroom on his first day of school to discover that it is empty in a complete disarray. Others are singing, some are playing video games, some are napping, and some are sleeping, while many of them are using a portable stove to prepare ramen. Even when the teacher enters, he is entirely disregarded as they carry on with their work. Henry attempts to reach them. They pretend not to hear him, yet pay him attention. He gives up attempting to deflect their focus and travels around the class making observations about what they are actually doing. Ramen contains too much sodium, so the cooking students are urged to consume less of it. Then Henry goes to a man named Zufa who is playing the ukulele and offers to help. Similar to that, he cautions a young player about the radiation exposure that could result from spending all day staring at a screen. He announces himself and signs his name as the students begin to pay attention on the board along with a phone number. His awful writing makes the pupils giggle. Then he receives a call from a student asking him to leave the class, but Henry shrugs it off. Once more, children disregard him and carry on with their previous pastimes. Henry uses a rubber band and chalk to activate the fire sprinkler. Once he has their complete attention, he formally welcomes them to his class. 5 of the lowest scoring pupils congregate in the sports equipment after the class. The group's leader, Jack, has a crush on an A-grade student in a different class. When the other people see him gazing at her photo, they make fun of him. The two groups are rivals. The affluent and privileged basketball team players at the school walk into the supply room and continue to make fun of Jack's poverty. Later, Jack and the basketball team are practicing. From close by, the group observes them. Jack spills a bottle on the court, which makes the team captain angry. Miss Liang, the English instructor at the school, orders detention despite the group's laughter. While she is occupied with cleaning her desk, they pull a prank on her and flee to avoid being sent to detention. The principal of the school is upset because of the education board intending to withhold money, 20% of their funding for the year. The members of the board visit the school for a tour to examine how the money is being sent. On the other hand, Henry walks inside the classroom where a bucket of water has been placed up by the pupils as a practical joke on him. However, he is able to shove the falling bucket aside because of his quick reflexes. He surprises the classmates who had been waiting to tease him. Knowing that Jack smokes, he opened Jack's packet of cigarettes. Henry says he is permitted to miss class for the day if he correctly responds to the question. Everyone begins to pound on their desk, begging that they too be allowed to miss class. When they finally stop, he gives each person a cigarette and instructs them to examine it. Henry is aware that if he discusses how it affects their health, they won't take him seriously. Therefore, he instead asks them so they truly pay attention to the teacher and show an interest in learning for the first time. The pupils grudgingly accept when he asks them to return the cigarettes after the bell sounds. Henry learns that 5 of his classmates have been placed on indefinite suspension. Jack claims that the school is unfair because the wealthy students are there after being urged to calm down. Henry looks over each of the 5 pupils' files that day after school. Zufa, the first man, is the son of a Pakistani immigrant who is always subjected to racial discrimination. Police officers frequently accuse him of stealing in the vicinity of him. The only thing Zufa ever wanted in life was to be a musician. Dinan is a student who thinks since the day she was born, she had disappointed her father. Her father desired for a son. Dinan has spent her entire life attempting to earn her father's respect. She also shortened her hair to play the part of a guy while playing with vehicles. While treating her younger brother like a prince, her father doesn't care about her. Then there are the Bruce and Chris brothers. When they were little, their mother left the house with a man, only children, which made their father drunk. Only one other remained for the brothers to rely on as they mature. Bruce developed a video game obsession as a way to escape reality, while Chris toiled away to support the family by working hard in a grocery store. Last but not least, Henry is unable to uncover any details regarding Jack's ancestry. In the scene that follows, Jack is a server at a restaurant. Jian Ying, an MMA bettor, enters the eatery with his co-workers in business. Jack grabs Jian Ying's nice lighter when she isn't looking but is captured. He is beaten by Jian Ying's goons when he verifies Jack's identification. When she learned that he was a student, he gives him some cash and suggests hiring him to deliver their meals. Henry goes to Zufa's house somewhere else and discovers Zufa fleeing from his father and his family. He initially assists him, but after learning why he is fleeing, he stops. He joins the father's side as they are being pursued. He and Zufa then arrive to chill out at the bridge to inspire Zufa to take whatever action. Once the brothers reject, he shouts at them to leave his home. Henry talks with their father the following day and persuades him. For the benefit of his sons, he should enter rehab. Meanwhile, Danan's father delivers to her a bag of cosmetics and told to act like a female once. Danan has always been enraged by him, making her believe that she is unworthy. She makes her younger brother look good with makeup. Bruce and Chris attended school the following day. Their father subjected to reveal about the history regarding being an alcoholic. So he reveals it's due to the betrayal of his wife. The brothers are left in tears at the conclusion. Jack has begun somewhere else. Despite his reluctance, Jack must accept the offer. Jian Ying sponsors the fight on the day of the contest, a combatant who wagers on his defeat. Jack attempts to drug the fighter's drink but is caught. For doing it, and he got beaten up, and Henry asks one of the combatants that he find Jack and have an exclusive fight scene. They are in the hospital where Henry is receiving treatment for his injuries in the scenario that follows. Jack tries to confront Jian Ying with the truth but is silenced. Henry begins to get notoriety on television by beating up a professional fighter. He becomes more well-liked and respected by the students. In contrast to before, they even stand up to welcome him to the class. And a flashback demonstrates Henry's history of playing practical jokes on his classmates. In addition, he threw water balloons at a student who was performing on the piano for the parents. Later, he clashed with the same pupil, and as it turns out, Chris turned to video games in order to evade his family's issue. Bruce began abusing drugs. He performs poorly in the mock exam because he is not focused. Bruce becomes more sad over time despite Henry's vows to assist him. At some point, he leaps from their home's balcony. He enters a coma after being taken to the hospital in a hurry. The media distorts the story and attributes Henry and the school's actions on Bruce. Henry is questioned by the school board representatives who ultimately decide to withdraw his teaching credential. The kids pursue him as he packs up and leaves the building, pleading with him to stay. Although they were devastated by his absence, they understand that Henry is a capable educator. Jack receives a text on the day of the exam along with all of his classmates. Soon after, Henry shows up at school and learns about Jian Ying's scheme to lock up the pupils before the exam. While Henry battles Jian Ying, they make their way to the exam room quickly. They are engaged in a one-on-one battle, and Jian Ying, following the incident, he hasn't played the piano and he accuses Henry of crushing his dream. Henry makes an effort to convince but is once more attacked. They battle for control of a knife. The students finish the exam by arriving in the examination room on time. A few weeks later, they all succeed with distinction. Jian Ying begins to perform the piano once more, but he still needs to practice a lot to reach his previous level of proficiency. Bruce gets better rapidly and pledges to take the entrance exam the following year.